Coming up on After the Whistle, District 6 high school baseball begins conference play.
Plus, District 6 softball and lacrosse are in full swing. We'll bring you this week's games from around the area.
And Penn State had quite a busy week with women's basketball, baseball, and lacrosse. All that and more coming up on After the Whistle. Welcome to After the Whistle. I'm Jenna Wisman.
And I'm Owen Camaros. Today we'll bring you baseball, softball, and lacrosse from around the District 6 area. We'll also have Penn State's WBIT appearance, as well as baseball and lacrosse. We take you now to baseball, where the defending 4A state champion Bellefonte Red Raiders hosted Tyrone for their first Laurel Highlands game of the season.
This was also Bellefonte's first game of the season, whereas Tyrone beat Juniata Valley 14-2 last week.
Dang, that's a killing.
We'll pick it up at the bottom of the third when Levi Purnell lines one to left field to score two, which puts the Red Raiders up 4-3. But check this out. He gets caught trying to extend the play at second.
Yeah, he had his hands in the cookie jar and just got caught.
It was a windy day at Governor's Park, and that helped Tyrone's Landon Hammer go deep to left field for the double. And check this out. He will drop the hammer. The next batter, Wyatt Cussenborder, slices to right, which scores Hammer to tie it at 4 in the top of the fifth.
Oh, look at that drop from, he might have even had him at home had he not dropped the ball there.
Bellefonte up 6-4. Now with two runners on in the bottom of the sixth, and Cussenborder tracks this towards right center, but then adjusts to make it a great falling catch to prevent any more damage. Top of the seventh now, the rally was on for Tyrone as Dylan Ewing drops one into shallow right to drive in one and tie it at 6. Still in the seventh, bases loaded now for the Golden Eagles, and Bellefonte's pitcher Parker Caparol, facing a full count, gets out of the jam to keep it tied. Red Raiders get the bases loaded, and Ethan Tamahachi drops one into center for the walk-off RBI, but there was some confusion if it was really over.
Is it going to happen?
Wait for it. Here we go. And there's the celebration. Bellefonte edges out Tyrone 7-6 in a wild one. Bellefonte moves to 1-0 and gets the conference win, while Tyrone drops to 1-1. Dramatic way to start the season for the Red Raiders, who also won the Mountain Conference last year with an 11-3 record.
Yeah, there were 22 combined hits in that one. That was really an offensive battle. Neither of those pitchers are going to be wanting to look at the film of this game.
That's right, Owen. More District 6 foes battled it out on the baseball diamond. Right, Owen?
Yeah, it was fans came out to really see this great game. And in this one, we take you out to this awesome game in the bottom of the fourth. This was just an incredible performance between two great schools. Fans were bundled up. Bottom of the fourth, Ethan Karaginas flies it out to deep left field to Gavin Burns. This would not be the last time we called Gavin Burns' name. Fifth inning as Gavin Burns throws it in. Bald Eagle leads. This was Bald Eagle playing. Carson Kensinger makes it to second, but both teams struggling to bring their boys home. And tempers would eventually boil over when Brady Steiner has a close call getting to first. He's ruled safe by the umpires. Coaches didn't like it.
Wow, look at the coaches. They are not happy.
Not happy at all. Things really heated up in the top of the sixth inning when Gavin Burns sends not two, but all three Tigers packing. This led to a huge momentum swing as the Golden Eagles scored 5 runs in the sixth inning, this one courtesy of Cameron Watkins. The Tigers, they had a great last stand here, but they couldn't ultimately win it. Bald Eagle starts the year with a win. Bald Eagle comes out on top over Hollidaysburg with a final score of 6-5.
Bald Eagle will bring the momentum of the win against Hollidaysburg into their game tonight. This will be their second game of the season. Bronwyn Liber is live from Huntington Area High School, where Bald Eagle Eagles are currently taking on the Huntington Bearcats. Bronwyn?
Thanks, Jenna. Bald Eagle currently leads undefeated after building off their PIAA championship from last season. However, that could all change here today as they face off against the Huntington Bearcats, who have Ryan Sheffield, who managed to get on a plate every single time he stepped up to bat in their last win. It is currently the third period here today behind me, in which Bald Eagle currently leads 2-0. We'll have to see how the rest of this game turns out and if the Eagles can continue this win in this hostile environment set by the Bearcats. back to you guys at the studio.
Thanks, Bronwyn. We now turn to a different kind of field. District 6 lacrosse at State College hosted Bishop McDevitt. The Crusaders are getting ready to face off against the Little Lions. Starting off this game is State College's captain, Cooper Brushwood. Look at him right here. He gets a little shifty for his 100th career goal with this shot and score.
Great shot from him.
And you may recognize these next two names from football season. Ty Salazar throws it out to Cooper Brushwood as he scores again to put State High up 11-3.
Yeah, Salazar, just a true three-sport athlete.
It's the third quarter now. The Little Lions pushing the pace, but a solid save here. Check out that save from Spencer Musty. Denies any points on the board. 7 minutes left. The Crusaders trying to make some noise after this goal by Carter Nemchik. Ultimately, State College dominated this game with a 15-5 win against Bishop McDevitt. State High improves to 2-0 on the season and heads to Mechanicsburg to face the Wildcats on Thursday. For Bishop McDevitt, they fall to 2-2 and host Cumberland Valley on Thursday.
Hey, Jenna, any idea what the fastest growing high school sport in America is?
I don't know, Owen, but if I had to guess, I'm going to go with pickleball.
It's actually girls wrestling. Our reporter Savannah Wood has the inside scoop, and she's going to let us know. Savannah, what can you tell us?
Owen, Center County is a hotspot for the nation's fastest growing high school sport. Bald Eagle Area High School sanctioned girls wrestling as its own sport in July of 2021. They recognized two specific wrestlers who made school history this season and what is to come for them in the future. Eden Eveleth had a sports dream from a young age.
I think I remember when I was like 7 thinking I wanted to wrestle, and my mom was like, "Oh, you're not wrestling guys."
Fast forward to high school, Eden is now one of 4 girls wrestling for Bald Eagle, and she's part of history. This is the first year girls wrestling is sanctioned by the PIAA. From 0 teams nationally in 2020 to more than 180 today, it's the nation's fastest growing high school sport.
You know, we still have people in this school district, you know, that cringe about the whole girl thing, you know, but now that they watch it and they see the intensity and the levels, you know, they've started to change their attitude a little bit about it and say, wow, this is kind of amazing.
Along with Bald Eagle, there are local teams in State College, Phillipsburg, Jersey Shore, and Central Mountain. After petitions and signs and fighting for the sport, wrestler Grace Stem helped push to bring girls wrestling to the next level, as Bald Eagle became the 12th team accepted by the PIAA. Eden and others are proud to be a part of it.
Obviously, I would love to be there whenever it's like full teams and it's where the boys are at, but it's also really cool to be the one that like started it up, you know?
If we were just going through it now, I mean, who knows? It could be another 5 years before it could have been sanctioned.
Grace Cristani began wrestling just 2 years ago and grabbed a top 10 finish as the first PIAA state girls placer.
I knew I pinned her as soon as the ref slapped the mat and motions are running. You know, everybody's crying. And once I got my hand raised, it's making history and connects for anything else.
And whenever I was watching her match, I was sitting there, I was so anxious, I was just waiting for the pin, and then boom, I couldn't help but scream and yell and just, I felt so happy for her.
Grace isn't the only one who made school history at Bald Eagle. Angelina Grebe won the girls' first district wrestling title this year. She'll wrestle again next fall.
Well, I wanted to go to Penn State because of the curriculum they have, right? And I just sort of heard about Altoona having a new wrestling program that they sanctioned this year. And I was like, that's perfect. I'm still closer to home and I get the wrestling that I wanted.
Maybe Penn State will even have their own, main campus will have their own girls wrestling team someday.
Women's wrestling is an emerging collegiate sport too, and is on track to become a championship level sport by 2026, according to NCAA.
I'm just really, really happy to see the women out there that are just building.
Going to be something in 5-10 years from now. I think we're going to be looking back on this, and this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Angelina Grebe headed to Penn State Altoona this past weekend to check out the wrestling facility. Maybe one day we can have our own at Rec Hall for girls wrestling.
Yeah, Savannah, I love how women's wrestling is starting to grow all across the country.
Yeah, absolutely, Savannah. I mean, you know, Penn State Altoona having a great women's wrestling program. Hopefully University Park and Rec Hall will get a wrestling program as well for the women as well, because obviously the Penn State men's wrestling program is so good that you'd assume if there's a women's wrestling coach and a women's wrestling program, it'll be just as dominant. Thanks, Savannah. Coming up after the break, we'll show you highlights from the first ever WBIT tournament.
Plus, we'll have highlights from Penn State baseball and women's lacrosse.
But for now, here are some scores from around District 6.
Welcome back to After the Whistle, brought to you by Com Radio, the Center County Report, and Penn State's chapter of Awesome.
The Penn State women's basketball team has moved on to the second round of the WBIT tournament after beating George Mason 84-80 in overtime. Jenna, what are the Lady Lions' chances of moving on to the Elite Eight?
Well, Owen, Penn State had to get through Belmont first. Belmont would come to the BJC on Monday. Both teams bringing the hype before this matchup. We'll start in the second quarter here. It's Emily LaChapelle. She will get the feed where she later locks down the three. Belmont leads 16-14. Third quarter, Leilani Kapanis throws a cross-court pass to Shea Chesky for the three. Penn State will then tie it at 32.
Yeah, look at that swish from Shea Chesky, quickly getting back on defense, a real two-way player.
It's the fourth quarter now in a tight game. Shot clock is winding down. It's McKenna Marisa. She makes the three. Nittany Lions lead by 7.
When you need a killer shot, you go to McKenna Marisa.
The next play, steal by Kapanis to Ashley Owusu, who gets the and one. Look at that. And that would be the icing on the cake. The Lady Lions would defeat Belmont by 8 points, showing that they are Elite 8 quality. They will move on and host Mississippi State later this week.
We have some breaking news to start out today's show. Puff Johnson, you are a Nittany Lion. The former UNC guard Johnson announced his commitment to Penn State on Twitter within the hour.
That clip was about a year ago when Puff Johnson first committed to Penn State from the transfer portal. And now the Moon Township native is staying put in Happy Valley. Johnson took to social media Tuesday night to announce that he is utilizing his COVID year with Mike Rhodes and the Nittany Lions. The 6'7" forward averaged north of 7 points per game in 20 appearances in his first year at Penn State. Johnson, originally a UNC Tar Heel for his first 3 seasons, was a team captain for the team and looks to add veteran leadership for 4 incoming freshmen.
It's been a very chilly start to Penn State's baseball season as the team opened up Big Ten play this past weekend against Michigan. We'll start off with Friday's game. It's whiteout, and Nittany Lions fans, they're out in numbers. Bottom of the third, Bobby Marsh hits it up the middle. That scores Adam Cecere from second for Penn State. Cecere coming around there. Now he's going to tap home plate. The throw didn't even make it home. Later in the third, Matt Maloney, he's wearing number 25, as you see here. He smacks the ball over the middle. It's dropped by Kyle Dernetti at short. Penn State tacks on a second run, or do they? Wait. Maloney, he batted out of order. He is called out, and the run, it doesn't count. Top of the sixth, Dernetti again, he walks, which scores Will Rogers. That pitch was just a bit outside or high. I'm not really sure the umpire's call there, but it certainly was a walk, and that scores Will Rogers. 3 runs in the sixth for Michigan, making it 3-3. Bottom of the ninth, there's a little bit of a swinging bunt almost.
Wow.
It's dropped by the pitcher. Penn State wins it. They walk it off 4-3. The Nittany Lions, they take Game 1, getting their first conference win of the season. This win marks Penn State's 200th win at Medler Field at Lebrano Park. While they hung on to get the victory, Penn State had another 2 games to go in this series.
They did, Owen, and the Nittany Lions did not find the same success through the rest of the weekend, including the series finale on Sunday.
Darn it.
Bottom of the first inning, 1 runner on, 2 outs. Bobby Marsh drills the ball deep to the left center gap as Jakonski scores from the first. Penn State up 1-0. Top of the second, Sanchez gets Dernetti to strike out swinging.
Yeah, let's
Check
see
this
this
out.
here. Let's see. I always hate swinging strikeouts. Honestly, sometimes even better to just look.
Me
Here's
as well.
here's the pitch and the swing. I think he got him low, maybe even on a
Strike
curveball.
out. Now it's the top of the sixth. Chick DiGaetano pitching for Penn State. Dernetti will split left side as Dylan Santone comes across to score. Game is now tied at 1.
Here's the throw to
Here
the
he
plate,
comes.
cut off by the pitcher. They're not even going to let it go home.
Now it's the top of the 7th inning. Stefan Hurasic doubles down the left field line as 2 runners score. Here they come. 2 runners are going to score, and they're going to make it 3-1. The Wolverines would score 9 runs in the inning.
Yikes, that is rough for Penn State.
Although the blue and white battled back to score 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th, it wasn't enough, as Michigan would get the win 11-6. With the win, the Wolverines took home the series to improve to 9-15 on the year. Meanwhile, the Nittany Lions would drop to 12-9, but get another shot to add to their win column against Pitt.
They sure did, Jenna. The first 350 students were given Dollar Dog Night T-shirts, and
Gotta
I'm
love
sure
Dollar
ate a
Dog
lot
Night.
of hot dogs. Penn State fans poured into Medler Field for the third largest crowd, which resulted in the second highest sellage of hot dogs. There were some people that I know that were there eating hot dogs. No action in the first 3 innings, so let's pick it up in the bottom of the fourth. Taven Kelly takes ball 4 and walks, which leads to Adam Cesari scoring the first run of the day. Pitt responded right away, though, top of the 5th inning. Turner Grouse scoring off the fielder's choice. That would make it 1-1. But that would be, unfortunately for Pitt, the only run they would score. Penn State would score 7 runs in the bottom of the 6th to win. After that 6-run inning, Penn State would score 2 more runs in the bottom of the 8th and would take the win 10-1. Penn State improves to 13-9 on the season, while Pitt falls to 11-11.
Moving over to Panzer Stadium, Penn State women's lacrosse had a huge game against number 1 ranked Northwestern. Each team announced their starting lineups before things began to heat up. It's Kristen O'Neill with the first of her many goals of the night, giving Penn State an early lead, 1-0.
Top corner, no chance for the goalkeeper.
Next, it's Erin Coy-Kendall with a feed to Dylan Amonte for their first of the night. This goal was key for Northwestern as they pushed their lead to 7-3 at the end of the first half. Then it's Erin Coy-Kendall again with a nice crease roll to tie the game 13-13, forcing it to overtime. Who else other than Kristen O'Neill to win the game for Penn State on a free position shot going right over the goalie's stick?
You know, walk-offs, they usually only happen in baseball, but I guess there's one in lacrosse.
Unranked Penn State takes down number 1 ranked Northwestern 14-13. The Nittany Lions moved to 2-0 in conference play. Our Cassie Vaselis was our reporter at the upset. Cassie, what made the difference?
Well, Jenna, it was Kristen O'Neill who made the biggest impact from start to finish as the Big Ten Midfielder of the Week looked to keep her team's winning streak alive. Let's take a look. On a brisk Friday night in Happy Valley, Penn State returned home to Panzer Stadium after a 5-game road trip across the Northeast. The Nittany Lions welcomed in the reigning national champions in number 1 Northwestern, where they would trail the Wildcats 7-3 with 5 minutes left in the first half. Despite the 4-goal deficit, the team never gave up.
The Nittany Lions ended up coming out successful in a 14-13 overtime victory, with Kristen O'Neill having a phenomenal performance with 6 goals.
4 of the captain's 5 goals through 4 quarters was what gave Penn State the boost to storm back and force overtime.
We were so calm the whole game, and then we came into that huddle and we just started singing to the song as it was because we were just so calm, cool, and collected and trusted that we were going to come out with that win, which I think shows a ton of confidence in their group.
In the final 2 minutes of the game, O'Neill stepped into a spot that she knows all too well to score her 6th goal, 150th of her career. Not only was this a great performance and big win for the captain, but also for the program, as this was Penn State's first win over a number 1 ranked team since 2005.
Honestly, just focused on playing a full 60 minutes together. We haven't done that this season. I think that's why some results haven't gone our way. And we just view this as an amazing opportunity to come out, play a great team, and show who we are.
This was Penn State's second overtime win of the season, all thanks to its star player.
With just 5 games left, the Blue and White are back in the top 25 as it looks to continue to build its winning streak. For After the Whistle, I'm Cassie Vaselis. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Cassie. We'll take a look now at our top plays from around the area. Starting off our high fly list is this ball to deep right field that is caught by Tyrone's Wyatt Cussenborder, who loses his hat as he falls to the ground to end the inning. And Jenna, this wouldn't be the first time he loses his hat.
That's right, Owen. He lost it not once, not twice, but 3 times in Busy Day, the outfield. Now over to Medler Field for number 2, where Grant Norris taps the ball up to the pitcher, who fumbles it, allowing for Taven Kelly to run home and walk off the game. Look out, Grant. Here comes the mob.
And then for our top play of the week, after we look at the celebrations from this awesome Penn State baseball game, you know who it is? Of course, it's Kristen O'Neill. Kristen O'Neill, who paints the corner on this free position shot to be crowned the hero of Penn State's day. Absolutely, just a dominant performance from both Penn State and high school athletes. Some incredible individual winners, awards, incredible performances from this past week.
Yeah, that's right, Owen. That's all from this week's edition of After the Whistle. Tune in next week for more coverage of District 6 and Penn State sports. I'm Jenna Wisman.
And I'm Owen Camaros. For more updates about our show and our coverage of the games, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ATWPSU. We'll see you here next week, right here on After the Whistle.